We rejoin our Harmonic Hawkshaws on Haunted Haven, Timbs Island, as they investigate why the island is rife with will-o-wisps.
So Mara, having climbed dripping out of the sea, leaving Elizabeth behind for now, heads back into the lighthouse. She finds Tavo and Aubrey resting on the ground floor. Jonathan no longer in evidence. Maybe he's back up top.
Well, as we suspected, she doesn't remember anything. So much of her memory just has huge gaps in it, and she was very sweet. It was kind of fun to play with her, but I felt bad that so much of her memory was gone.
Do you think that if we get their memories back, they'll know more about these paintings? Or
I don't know.
Is it like Jonathan said, they just dreamed them up and don't know anything else?
Yeah, it didn't seem like she was there. And even if she was, that she was very convinced that it was, in fact, a dream, an image that came to her, and coincidentally her brother Adam, and that they both painted it, and that was kind of the end of the story. I even tried to pry a little bit by saying, well, that looks an awful lot like my aunt, and she didn't have much to add to that.
Tavo and I figured out something about this place, but we aren't sure what to do with it yet.
Oh?
And I'm going to try to use Mara's silent communication method, which is charades. So I'm going to do a sort of, like, elder man sort of posture, stroking my chin, and sort of miming pink shoes, like putting on some galoshes, and then walking, and then sort of shining a light. And it's shining, ooh, it's shining, it's a lighthouse, I'm a lighthouse keeper, I'm Jonathan. And then I do the really dramatic, like, finger across the throat, like, bleh. And then I rise from my own dead body as a little ghost. And then I look at Mara expectantly.
And Mara, this was like a 3-act play.
Yeah.
He's a ghost.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't know, though.
He doesn't know? How do you not know? Well, I feel like, because my working theory is that maybe he has something behind the whole memory thing, but now I'm thinking he's a part of it. If he doesn't know.
Then part of his memory may be gone too.
Yeah. And everybody here, it was some like shipwreck-related death, right?
I mean, we didn't ask everybody, but it sure seems likely.
It's not uncommon around here.
Was that an assumption that I made because of hearing something, or no?
You know Elizabeth and Adam for sure died in a shipwreck.
Oh, right, but
I think
not.
a few others did. That we talked to.
You talked with Jess, whose last memory was playing on some rocks on a beach.
Oh.
And I think you all did infer, or you sort of leapt to the conclusion that she died in a shipwreck because she had come from London. But
not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I know that sometimes when you go through something really intense, you'll have lapses in your memory, but I feel like that wouldn't explain everyone.
No.
Especially, Tavo, what you were saying about the will-o-wisps and how they always seem to remember you. But some reason, everybody on this island... But Elizabeth knew she was... Well, truthfully, I'm not sure if she knew what she was. And if everybody's just like a unaware ghost here...
Elizabeth did say that she knew she was a ghost.
Yeah.
That Jonathan told her.
Okay.
But she said she thought Jonathan... At some point, Mara said to her, you know Jonathan's a ghost, right? As I think, Lauren, you had maybe picked up some information from...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which may not have been the best.
That's fine.
But
it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, he's not a ghost. He's still alive.
Oh, that's good to
Elizabeth
remember.
said.
Thank you for reminding me that. Okay, I'll go back. Well, when I was talking with Elizabeth, she actually wasn't aware that Jonathan is not among the living.
It would be hard to clock, I think. Especially if you don't have a good perception of time.
And if it happened after you became a ghost.
Yeah, and if he doesn't himself know.
Listen, I know a lot about measuring ghosts, but I don't really know about what makes them tick. Is it possible that there's something or someone out there that eats the memories of ghosts?
That fuels on it?
Or just enjoys consuming them?
Maybe.
Or maybe there's something that's just disrupting it. I need to take some more readings. I think at this point, Tavo gets out his equipment, goes outside, gets a little farther away from the ring of lights and starts doing a little bit of...
So I'm going to interrupt you right there. When Tavo opens the front door of this lighthouse, he looks out, he sees the ring of lanterns, and he sees that the plants beyond it have grown dramatically more than would be possible in the few hours that you were inside, or in the few minutes since Mara stepped inside. None of them seem able to grow past the ring that's created by this rope. The rope that is hung with the ghost lanterns. But unlike most of the plants in Foxglove, these plants here seem to behave as if they are wild and in completely untended territory.
Do they have any resemblance at all to the kudzu monster that was chasing me?
They look completely natural. They look like if you had left this island for a few months and come back, you would expect it to look like this.
All right. So Tavo opens the door and sees this. And honestly, he probably still steps outside within the ring.
This is something that Tavo has encountered many times, right? A side effect that seems to follow Tavo around. Broadly speaking, let me take a step back here. Broadly speaking, plants that are tended by people behave normally. So someone's front yard, normal. Plants near Foxglove that are wild, so once you get sort of into the national forests that grow not far from the city limits, if you're not looking at them, you have no idea what they're going to be like when you look back. This is just a property of nature near Foxglove. And also, something that follows Tavo nearly every time he uses magic.
Been hyper-fertilized. It's growing fast.
Growing fast. Growing fast.
Growing fast.
Growing fast. Growing fast.
Oh, you might get hurt when nature has a growth spurt. Growing fast. Growing fast. Growing fast.
Growing fast.
Growing fast. Growing fast.
You might get lost when you're walking in the woods.
Growing fast.
When you turn your head, the path don't look like it should.
Growing fast.
You can't make your way back till after dark.
Growing fast.
You're in the forest where there once was just a park. It's growing fast.
Growing fast.
Growing fast. Growing fast.
It's growing fast. It's growing fast. If you're not too careful, you might get hurt when nature has an unexpected growth spurt.
It's growing fast.
Growing fast. Growing
All I
fast.
did was pick a pencil.
Growing fast. Growing fast.
Look around, and what was once just a seed is now sprouting up into the sky.
Growing fast. Growing fast. Growing fast.
Don't know what I did.
Growing fast.
Probably gonna do it again.
Growing fast. Growing too fast.
Don't think I can stop now.
Growing too fast. Growing fast. Growing fast.
It's too late.
Growing fast. Growing fast. Growing fast.
Growing fast. Oh God, not again. This is embarrassing.
What's up?
We're sort of grown in.
Really?
Yeah, take a look.
You open the door another time, and it's as if another 6 months has passed. It's not that it's impassable, right? Some of these have now shed their leaves and are in sort of winter mode. But these plants that you would expect to behave as if they were sort of continually observed because they are so close to human habitation are behaving like wild plants.
This might be my fault.
Why would it be your fault?
I think my magic has weird effects on probability and nature.
All magic has weird effects on everything. That's why it's magic.
Well, business as usual then, I guess. Sorry.
Aubrey, you've seen this happen quite a bit, haven't you?
Yeah. Not... have I seen it to this degree? This is a little extreme.
When you go on a hike,
Yeah.
if, the way back, the plants are in completely different configurations than when you left. It was unusual to see the effect contained inside of a sphere at Freddy's party. That was the big piece that Poppy Bracco brought.
Right.
But the gardens that Aubrey works on do not exhibit this. You usually have to get out of the city. And this is definitely still in the city.
Yeah. Huh. Then, to your point, that as magic does, and you can never predict kind of the consequences, that idea of something being present here that's, I don't know, having some impact on these memories, do you think that could have something to do with this, or is this just because these plants are behaving abnormally?
My instinct is to always try to connect everything.
Yeah.
That is going to be my instinct here, but I'm aware of that pattern within myself. But it's gotta be right.
Tavo goes ahead and tries to take some readings.
The observed. But if people can't remember something, then can they observe where it was?
Oh. But we have our memories. Are they growing actively as we're looking at them?
No. If anyone would like to give me a magic check, I will take Fey or...
Oh, Fey, I have
Primal?
a yellow and three green.
Fey or Primal would work.
I'll roll some primals.
Either of these would go against 2.
That's 1 success and 1 threat.
Success and a threat.
That's the best kind you can get because it's you did it, but but Helix gets to chuckle.
But gets to chuckle.
Yeah, so success. You think that, in fact, you are fairly certain. You've read the papers that Poppy Bracco has published on this broadly, publicly, that while not observed by intelligent people, intelligent beings, this is how nature behaves in the area surrounding Foxglove for a reach of about 300 miles. The conclusion that you could jump to, what feels like a solid hypothesis to Tavo, is that because there are no living people on this island, there's no humanity here to sort of make this ground tended.
Gotcha.
And so it is somehow reverted to being wild.
Okay, so this is not actually that weird.
No,
Okay.
You can find a pattern for it that makes sense. You can justify this.
All right. Okay.
Would that imply that there's no humans on the island, or that there's no living things on the island besides us?
I guess that there are no living things on the island besides us. Or, I'm sorry, not living humans. Because the ghosts, I suppose, are human, or were human.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, does this mean there's no monsters? Or maybe monsters?
Ooh, I don't know if I would go that far.
Okay. Probably
Well,
monsters.
Is there a way?
Imagine dragons.
Is there a way, like, back in our memory?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I could. Aubrey, when we were here for our field trip, did Jonathan look the same? Like, has he been a ghost this whole time? Have we already answered this question? Like, was he a ghost then too? Or was he alive then and recently has become a ghost?
I think he looked a little bit younger, but not so much younger. He hasn't been aging normally, but he has aged.
Can ghosts age?
I don't think so.
Tavo?
Somebody wants to roll an occult check.
Oh.
Or a faith, occult or faith is what I'll take for this. And that is going to be against 2. Purple. Tavo rolling here. Rolling a big handful of dice.
That's 3 advantages, 1 success. Yes?
2 successes.
2 successes, 4 advantages, actually.
2 successes.
Against 2, what are those things again?
Those are 2 threats. So they're going to cancel with that green die that has 2, and then it's 2
Nice.
and 2.
So net 2 successes, 2 advantages. Ghosts don't age. Be serious.
Yeah.
Everybody knows ghosts don't age.
Oh, so he died between when we were in 4th grade and now.
We could talk to him about it. I I just think someone with better bedside manner would be the one to break the news. And I look at Mara desperately.
If you have ideas for those advantages, feel free to pitch them. I'm still trying to noodle on this threat from the roll about the plants. And I think the threat is that some of the vines have grown out the dock and sort of wound around the ropes that you used to tie up the ship, so you won't be able to leave quickly, or as quickly as you might like.
Mm-hmm. Hot exit off the table.
Well, advantage-wise, I know what Tavo was trying to do originally was to step outside of the circle and use the PKE equipment to try to see, is there any other source of psychic or ectoplasmic activity elsewhere on the island that we should be looking for?
Yeah, so the island is pretty small, right? It's maybe 150 meters across in total at high tide. It's a little bit bigger at low tide. As you walk around, you have to sort of push your way in some places through the thick new undergrowth. And every single reading points towards the lighthouse. There's no other readings outside of the circle.
Okay. So whatever's happening, it's happening in there. I'll come back to the lighthouse.
Yeah, we didn't go up.
No.
Oh, none of you took him up on his offer, the tour of the top?
Well, I don't know. I think that we cut ahead to everyone meeting up. Yeah. So it's up to you whether we took the tour yet or not.
Well, it sounds like we didn't, and we could.
Sounds like we didn't, and we could.
Yeah. We could go back in and ask for that now.
Sure. So you head back inside, and from the top says, "Oh, you're still here."
Yes. Sorry if we have overstayed our welcome. We haven't been here for so long, and gosh, the charm and everything here just does not get old.
Oh, you were here before.
Yes. Me and my friend Aubrey went to school together, and we were here on a field trip when we were in 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been a while since they've been sending youngins out here for field trips. I guess they don't like the liability or something.
What a shame.
Yeah, well, it's quieter like this anyway. And was there something I could do for you? He's calling down from the top of the stairs.
Mm-hmm. We could come up to you if you'd like. I remember you mentioned a tour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you want to see how the lighthouse works, huh?
We would love to see how the lighthouse works.
Yeah, well, come on up. You'll pardon me. My old knees, they can't take bumping up and down the stairs like they used to.
That's all right. Okay, we'll be on our way up.
Yeah. As we head up, I do want to take a glance at those paintings again and see what I can determine about that third person.
Yes, the third person.
We each got distracted by the immediately relevant backstory characters, but there's a third one here who I assume is important too for reasons we need to figure out.
So looking at the third person in the paintings, it's a third woman. She has dark black skin, hair that is cropped fairly close, like she has maybe half an inch or so of tight curled hair. It is almost entirely white. Like there's just a little bit of black left in it. Other than that, her skin is painted as smooth in both. She's not painted with any wrinkles. Is Fee a tall woman?
I think all the Verteres are like average.
Okay.
Like Mara's like 5'6".
Yeah.
I'm sure Fee's 5'7".
Okay. She looks to be quite tall. Seated, her head rises a few inches above Fee's. So this woman seems to be a fair bit taller than her. Yeah. She is dressed in a black business suit, skirt suit. She looks like an executive. Again, these paintings are well done, lavish in their detail. Her demeanor, she is keeping an eye on Fee, while seeming to be aware of everything that's around her.
Keeping an eye on her in a suspicious way or in a conspiratorial way? Like, are they close?
You get the impression that this woman does not trust Fee, is keeping an eye on her to make sure she doesn't try anything.
And if my memory is right, we talked about the woman with the verdant cycle, supposed flower crown. Was there somebody in the painting that was at Freddie's party?
You don't recognize any of these people as being at Freddie's party.
Confused with somebody about something else.
Yeah, no, the woman in the flower crown was in the files from the party.
Oh, that's
in the files we stole.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, thank you. And then you said business suit, and I thought
she was the person who disappeared.
Fully.
Oh,
yes. Okay.
The heist on Train 19, the target of it was to steal the artifact known as the Verdant Cycle. And in the process of conducting the heist, a young woman disappeared.
Right.
I think this is photos taken seconds before disaster.
Yeah.
I think that's what this is. Aubrey doesn't know what memes are, so she wouldn't say that.
Could be anything.
As we go up the stairs, Tavo goes last, and he's just gripping the banister very tightly.
Oh, there's no banister on this.
Oh, God. He's gripping the wall very tightly. That's even worse. He's probably white as a sheet right now.
You all right, Tavo?
I don't like heights very much. Sorry. It's okay. Keep going.
Huh. I guess that's fair. You're not afraid of the paranormal, but heights, it's always something.
I mean, I'm a little afraid of the paranormal.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's keep
Trots
going.
on ahead. Yeah.
You make it up to the top. At the top, there is a landing that the stairs deposit you on. It lands you on a walkway that is around the outside of the glass, so you'd have to push up a trapdoor. If it had been closed, it was already open. There's a trapdoor that you would go up, and it would let you out onto the walkway outside of the glass, and then there's a door sort of 180 degrees away from that lets you inside of the glass to where the bulb and the lens are. The bulb rests on a platform that rotates. Swinging this bulb that is probably 4 feet tall, has sort of a mirrored parabolic back and a Fresnel lens on the front, 5 or 6 inches in thickness, stepped. Looks like sort of a stepped ziggurat. And this is swinging around at the period of once every 10 seconds or so. Well, there's not much to do with it these days. It's needs a little oil and the bearings from time to time, and I need to make sure the glass on the lens and the glass on the chamber in here are clean so that the light gets out efficiently, but I don't know, I never get tired of watching it. Lauren's covering her face with her hands.
It's the light, isn't it? Yeah. Oh. That's what... Oh...
Say what you're thinking.
It's the light. It's the light. Whatever's causing the light. I never get tired of watching it. That's what drains your memory, or makes you a ghost, or That's what it's important. That's something like that. What are you, Camilla? Are you on the same page as me? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you have more articulate thoughts?
Probably. Just we got to figure out what's up with this light and this bulb, and maybe we should walk around the outside and not let it shine us in the face until we know what's going on with it.
Tavo has no idea what you're thinking.
I'm gonna
He's just out.
Oh, sorry. Please.
He's just out here like turning on the PKE thing and trying to like. He's pointing it away from Jonathan, but like pointing it around in here and seeing if there's something.
The only reading that you get is when you sort of occasionally point it towards Jonathan. Everything else seems mundane to you.
So there's not a big ghost in a little ghost lantern up here.
Not that his
No.
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 Jonathan,
Not that his sensors indicate.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
But did it pick up the will-o-wisp?
Yeah, it sure did.
Okay. I just think it would be funny if there's like little lanterns with little light bulbs in them downstairs, and then there's a big lantern with a big light bulb in it.
spooky ghost.
That would be.
But it's something else. The light is doing something else that's spooky.
Or maybe not.
We'll see. We'll see.
Though now I kind of wish I had a giant ghost in this
A
lantern.
giant ghost in a big lantern?
So let's just
It's a
rewind
cute
10 minutes.
idea. I thought it was a cute idea, but it's a little silly.
Man,
Just a
if I had
synecdoche.
nickel every time we did an improv musical about ghosts and aquatic locations. I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot. It's weird that it happened twice.
Once every 10 seconds, this lighthouse swings around, shines a light for all to see. I don't let it go out, but I never let it shine on me. Shine on, shine on, shine on. Shine on, shine
take a lot of care. How many years caretaking? You better beware. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on. Shine on.
So many little glass bowls, little life in each one of them. How long are they gonna stay cooped up? How long are they gonna shine on? Shine on, shine on.
So you're up in the top of this lighthouse, which appears to be completely mundane in nature. You're getting no readings on your detectors. None of you have made any checks, but I'll just tell you if you did. This lighthouse is pretty normal up here, y'all.
Okay.
Okay.
What you can see is that the glass up here is as spotless as the glass of the lanterns down below, both on the lens and on the wall that is formed by windows around the lantern itself.
Jonathan, would you ever think about retiring?
Well, I'm not really sure what I'd do. I've been up here so long, and plus, who really wants to come out here and keep a lighthouse anyway, right?
I think you'd be surprised. I think there'd be a lot of people that would come take this job.
Oh, would a position that puts you in control of which ships make it to land safely and which don't, would that interest you? Something that makes it possible for you to see all of the thousands and thousands of souls who are transiting their way in a precarious moment across the sea, past this very dangerous point of rocks here. Is that something that you would be interested in? Are you saying that you'd like to be a lighthouse keeper?
It was more of the royal you. Jonathan, how do you live with that?
Well, keep the lighthouse running.
Oh.
Yeah.
It made it sound like that was all on your conscience, as if maybe there was a time that...
Well, it's a heavy
it is,
responsibility.
Has the light ever gone out?
Well, sure, it's gone out.
Why does that happen?
Well, the bulbs can burn out from time to time. It's usually out for just a couple minutes, and, well, then I put a new bulb in. That's why you need a person out here. Even, it does most of the work itself these days. But, you might turn it on just like walking into any other room. You flip on the light switch and pop, a big pop happens. It's a bit more dramatic up here. And it takes a little bit longer to clean up after because, well, sometimes you don't need to hear about that.
But I'm interested, has it ever gone out at a pretty crucial time? Has the ship ever crashed while you had to change the light bulb?
Well, I am fortunate to say that no, sir, it has not. The only ships that have crashed here on this island while I've been here have crashed during storms.
When they saw the light, but they couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, well, sometimes storms are powerful, and you're in a boat that's too small and the sea's too big, and then you lose both your siblings in one night.
It sounds like you're carrying a great amount of guilt and also a lot of responsibility on only your shoulders. So maybe is there anything we can do to help? It sounds like you've been doing a lot alone. Whether it's someone to talk to or someone to help to take on some of the lighthouse.
It's always nice to have visitors like yourselves out here talking to folks. It reminds me that it's not just my burden and it's not just for myself that I do all this work. It's to make sure that people like you don't lose your loved ones as they're coming in from long voyages across the sea, and also that you get your automobiles and things that are coming in on container ships. But if there was something you could do to get my siblings to stop fighting.
They're fighting?
But his painting's better.
That's right. Do you think there's a way that we could stop that without declaring one of them as the better painter?
Well, I can tell you, they don't listen to me anymore on it, so I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what to do.
I was talking to Elizabeth for a while.
Isn't she a lovely soul?
She is. Well, maybe we can see what we can do.
As you're saying that, first light of dawn begins to appear on the horizon. The sky starts to lighten.
So they're going to disappear.
Yes.
Do we have time or no?
I mean, if you want to run out and try and talk to them real fast, you absolutely can. But I think it's more likely that you're coming back tomorrow or another night, right?
Yeah.
From their perspective, every day is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Every day is today.
Yeah.
Maybe we go and hack
We'll
off
see
the
what we
vines
can
of our
do.
ship and go back and have a little chat on the way back.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for everything, Jonathan.
Oh, of course, you're welcome back here anytime. It's always nice to have a visitor.
We'll be back. We will.
All
Right?
right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
just remember, there's things that each one of us can do to help each other out, and it's important to do what we can to make sure that all of us is okay.
Is there anything we can bring you?
Oh,
To
I've
be
got
honest-
everything I need out here.
Are you sure?
There's
we live
sort
right
of-
above the chili pavilion.
He can't.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I like chili, sure.
Yeah. They had like a health inspector issue I forgot about. My bad. Aubrey?
Actually, well, I will say, my radio went out. If you want to tell me who won the World Series, I wasn't able to listen to the last game, and it was all tied up, 3-3.
Oh my gosh, I don't follow sports. Was it the Green Sox playing?
Don't look at me. I'm a gigantic nerd.
No, the Sailors haven't made it to the World Series in years, so I haven't paid attention. They've never made it, actually. They've never.
Never made it.
If we find out, we'll let you know.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
What? Do you remember who the teams were?
Oh, sure. It was the Chicago Cubs and the St. Louis Cardinals.
Huh.
You
Okay.
think I'm making up baseball teams? Come on.
I don't know. We made up most of the movies in
I
this
know.
world.
Well, I was
I
doing
think the
that
Green
so I
Sox
could
are
determine
real.
what year.
Yeah,
you
no,
guys
I was
guys-
too.
No,
I was too.
absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Fine. The Mariners have never made it to the World Series, so I don't pay attention.
No, the Foxglove Sailors makes
The
total sense.
Foxglove Sailors.
Okay.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, that was funny to
But-
me. It was like two real teams.
I don't even know if they could face each other in the World Series. I don't know if they're like in the same
It's from
league.
a ghost brain. It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that the St. Louis Cardinals have won way more World Series than the Chicago Cubs. Disney.
Wow.
What does a ghost do when it's not being dead? What do you think about when you got a see-through head?
Straight through.
What do you eat? When do you sleep? When do you go and see your friends? When do you do when your time on earth never ends? What makes a ghost tick? I really don't know.
We really don't know.
What's time mean when you're undead?
What is time when you're
Or in our
undead?
class.
What's time mean when you're undead? Too many things can go to your head or through your head. What does time mean when you're undead?
What's time
What does that
when you're undead?
I sit in my lantern and watch the waves come in and out. I think I've got just about every mystery in the world figured out.
Good for you.
Except the one thing I can't figure is what I'm still doing here. I mean, sure, Reginald betrayed me, and I never got revenge, and I never got to kill him, and I never got to drag his body into the water. What's time mean when you're undead? What's time mean when you're undead? So many things run through your head.
Literally and metaphorically.
What's time mean when you're undead?
I used to be a businessman, but now all of my business is unfinished. I find that my ability to interact with physical objects is severely diminished. So how will I complete the paperwork that I need to move on to the next life? How will I complete the business and the forms and the documents and papers and the tax returns? No! What does time mean when you're undead? What does time mean when you're undead?
All these business terms running through your head. What's time mean when you're undead?
Now we know.
Diminished.
Okay, so boat sidebar.
Yeah, boat sidebar. After we'll say goodbye and try and free our rope or free the boat from all the overgrowth. How bad has it gotten at this point?
Yeah, you go back outside, and it is as if months more have passed. The vines that have grown out onto the rope have sort of rooted in. The rope is basically not there anymore. It's just a vine at this point.
Should we have told him? It's clear he feels like he has too much responsibility to this place and the souls here to move on. That's part of it, though, right?
Yeah.
We need someone to take over.
I guess we do. I mean, this lighthouse still serves a purpose, right?
We need to settle the feud and find him a co-worker or a replacement or something.
I mean, the city has to know that, well, I was going to say the city has to know that nobody's been there, right? That there's been no communication, but I guess that depends on how recently he died. I want to get back to see what year of the World Series he's talking about. Go through like some sports almanacs or the frick. Yeah.
I have a meeting at noon.
So you're able to leave the island. You don't need to make a hot escape. You have no real difficulty getting back over docking. The sky is light now. It's sort of early in the morning. I imagine you're all pretty tired because you stayed up until dawn. It didn't seem like enough time passed on the island for it to be dawn. Like it didn't feel like you spent the whole night there, but the sun sure came up. What are each of you doing when you get back to the mainland? How are you spending your day before you get back together to go to the island?
I have a meeting at noon that I need to prepare for. And I guess I need to also create as much unfinished business as possible in advance so that if I die, I can be a ghost and then have that going for me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm being morbid, but...
He did promise you safe passage to come and leave.
Yeah.
For what that's worth.
So, how should I act?
The deal said I have to go alone. Otherwise, he's going to kill my friend. So...
Oh.
I don't think I can be accompanied.
There isn't a way that, like, we could listen in, or at least I could, and be there if something were to go awry?
I don't think I could know about it based on the terms of the deal. And Aubrey leaves the room.
Mara's so exhausted and, like, is cranky when she doesn't get enough sleep, but she's also very worried about Aubrey and feels like there should be something she can do, but she doesn't want to like risk Van's life and most importantly, Aubrey's safety.
Mm-hmm.
I think I popped my head back in. Unless you had something you were...
Nope, I think you're right. If I am gonna, I want to leave you plausible deniability.
Your family knows this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have any weaknesses? Is there any personal information? I mean, he's a bully and a businessman, so I figure I'll treat him that way, and...
Yeah, empathy and like human connection could be a weakness. Aubrey, if you're comfortable with me talking with my mom about this.
Do you still have that coin that we were using earlier?
Yeah.
For the divination?
I flipped Tavo the coin.
Okay. While you two are talking, Tavo puts it on a piece of paper and draws a circle around it, and he's starting to draw some symbols branching off of it.
What are you doing?
Nothing that you need to know about.
Okay. I turn into the corner Blair Witch style and think about what I'm going to do.
All right. Tavo finishes drawing, kind of whispers to the coin a little bit, and then picks it up and then says, "Thanks. You should keep that in your pocket."
What are you trying to do with this? Obviously, Aubrey doesn't know, but what is Tavo trying to accomplish?
Trying to put some magic on it to listen.
Mm-hmm.
If it's exposed, to be able to see the coin. Mm-hmm. Basically just putting like symbols for the senses around it so that in theory at least we could divine through the coin kind of like what's going on for her. And then there's a sixth symbol, which is not a sense but is like a life symbol, so we know if her life is in danger in some way.
For this to be able to function at a long distance and to do all of those things, this is going to be a hard arcane check, so that it's 3 purple. And I'm going to spend a story point to upgrade one of those purple to a red. So 2 purple and a red.
Can I counter that with a story point or with this guitar pick?
You absolutely can.
Okay, I'm going to spend my guitar pick, I think.
Okay.
What does that do?
Turns a green to a yellow.
So it should be 2 purples and a red against your normal roll plus with 1 upgrade. Yeah. So which is 3 yellow and a green.
Spicy, but I think good.
I think it comes out
So
in your favor.
4 successes, 3 advantages, if I read this right.
Don't forget to counter with the failures. So
Okay, so
a
those are-
success with 3 advantages,
Yeah.
I think is what the net is there. It's so you have this sensor on Aubrey that you can activate for a limited amount of time. I'm going to say it was 3 advantages.
Yeah.
I mean, you know she's going to the meeting at noon. I'm going to say the 3 advantages mean it will stay up. Each one will represent 10 minutes it can be active. So you can have up to 30 minutes of this sensor.
Okay. Sounds good.
I think I want to draw some chaos magic signs on myself before the meeting. I actually need to think about exactly what they're going to be. So maybe I'll throw to Mara, but I think that it's both some for things to help me and some to sort of signal to him.
So great. Before we get too much further, I just want to be clear. Like, if you were sailing back, you probably would have tied up at Mara's home or at the Vertere estate at their private dock. Where are you doing this? And also, are you like planning to sleep before you do any of this? So we can.
Yeah,
you
these
can
are great
like,
questions.
Gone back to the office, or be doing this at Mara's.
Well,
like,
I think
guest house or whatever.
because Mara was talking about whether we should go to her mom. Feels funny to roll up there no sleep, but
I was thinking it was more of a solo conversation. But you're welcome to ask her anything you'd like.
if you want to take it solo, you can.
Yeah. I mean, also the elephant in the room. Freddy's house is right there.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know if you want to be this close.
sure.
Do you want me to give you a ride home?
I'll just take we're in like the pool house or something.
Yeah, the sort of the carriage house that.
Can I just take a nap here?
Please, go.
I'm gonna take a nap.
Make yourself at home.
Yeah.
And then in that case, Tavo, do you want to stick around, or should we plan to meet up hopefully later tonight and go back to the island?
That sounds like a good idea. I probably should write up some of the stuff that we've been talking about. The only thing is, I think you and I should be nearby
Yeah.
when she's at this meeting.
Enough distance that we're not in earshot or visible. Do we know where it's happening?
Yeah, so it's happening at Park Bridge, which is a bridge that goes across this lake here. It connects the Arboretum and the ruins, the two sort of largest parks that are inside of the city. Cemetery Park is a bit larger, sort of at the edge of the city, and then runs into National Forest. This bridge is a floating bridge. It's pedestrian only and has been for the last 10, 15 years after a major structural deficiency was found in it that they decided to just fix a little bit and make it into a pedestrian bridge. It's kind of like the High Line in New York, where it's now overgrown with plants and things. Like the bridge is itself now a park space also, right? There are always clear walking paths. It's tended plants, not wild plants. But the bridge itself is about 1.5 miles long, so meeting in the middle would put you 3/4 of a mile from shore.
I can hold my breath pretty long now, we know.
Yeah.
If I'm underwater, just observing, that might be a good call. Aubrey's gone inside. She can't hear this.
Nah,
Napping, yeah.
I'm taking a nap.
Okay. Tavo, I think that's a great idea. Freddy doesn't know you. Wherever you need to be for whatever thing you've just conjured up here with this coin, you do that. I have, made certain in the past however many hours that I can be underwater as long as I would like. And that might be the route that I take, but I'm undecided in this current moment. It's a floating bridge. Therefore, there's water underneath it and room in between the bridge and the floor.
I'm just saying if there's an emergency, I'll probably know about it. And I'll need to tell you.
Okay. Ooh. Well, lucky for you, silent communication. Oh, but you need to be invisible.
Yeah, you need sort of...
Yeah, so you need to be underwater too. I don't think that would work. Would it?
Maybe I can just throw a stone into the water?
Yeah, that works. That's good.
If I can throw a glow stick into the water, because
Ooh.
there are going to be kids on that bridge, and those kids are going to be throwing stuff into the water.
Yeah.
So
fair
have something
enough.
that is specific.
Like a magic thing that you could throw in the water? Or a glow stick would work too. Yeah.
A pencil. Nobody would ever throw a pencil off a bridge.
Yeah, you could make the pencil glow and then point, right at my face.
I probably could do that.
Or you could link two pencils together and you break one and it breaks the one that's in her hand or something like that.
Ooh.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I like that.
Or we have glow sticks, and if you break the glow stick, then it lights up.
Maybe
Yeah.
Tavo's whole deal is pencils. So.
True, pencils is good.
I can make a pencil glow. So,
Pencil glow stick, and if something goes wrong, you'll break yours, which will break mine that's in my hand, and I can kind of leap into action.
Drew has handed Lauren a real live pencil. I mean, I guess it's not alive.
Ticonderoga. Yeah. Are you actually going to break it?
Is there a more iconic pencil brand for the number
No.
twos?
No, there's not.
name a more iconic pencil brand.
You can't!
Sanford.
All right. So I got the pencil,
Uh-huh.
and I have a coin, which is identical to the one that Aubrey has. So hopefully we got our alarm system set up.
So that meeting is happening at noon. If there are other things that you want to do in the morning, or if you want to maybe do something else in the afternoon, great.
I just don't know if this will actually endanger Aubrey and Van, because she won't be alone then in that case. We won't be visible. Well, no, technically, if we're there too, we didn't come with her. She still came alone. Yeah, maybe we should run this by Mom. What time is it now? Did we say this?
So you left the island at the crack of dawn. It's probably
Yeah.
about 7 a.m. at this
7
point.
a.m. She's obvious. She'd be in her office.
You think she'd be in there at 7? Or would she be at the breakfast table being served?
Oh,
At the breakfast alcove.
yeah, obviously. She would be at the breakfast alcove, fresh away from the reading nook, getting her sun.
She's already completed her workout for the morning.
She has. God, she's awesome. Okay. She's so badass. No. So scary.
She's already read.
Tolstoy's War and Peace.
I was gonna say the newspaper, but sure. I mean, she's a business boss, right?
Yeah, she is. She probably is busy. Okay, well, we are trying to work with each other more. So I'll just go in there and suss out the vibe and see if it's good to bring this up. Because obviously she knows a lot more about Freddy than I do. And yeah.
You head towards the main house. The liveried servants. They wear this sort of dark crimson, sort of burgundy, what look kind of like androgynous bellhop outfits. Red, dark enough to look nearly black. Open the door for you, gesture silently in the direction that your mother is.
All right, I'll walk down the hall, my boots kind of echoing in the hallway, the heels, kind of looking all the decor, and then make it into the dining room where she's sitting.
She is sitting alone at the breakfast table, and you can tell immediately upon walking into the room that she is upset about something.
I'm going to hesitate maybe right before she can see me and wonder if she heard me walking it.
You are certain that she did with your heels echoing on the tile.
Of course.
Yes.
Okay, I'll kind of slink into the opening to the doorway and be like, good morning, Mother.
Her head sort of snaps over to you to look at you, and she nods her head, indicating you should sit at the table next to her. Good morning, dearest.
Go ahead and sit. If you'd rather be alone this morning, please don't let me bother you.
It has been a vexing morning so far, but nothing to do with you.
Vexing at 7 a.m.? Enough has happened already?
Have you read the glove box this morning?
Truthfully, no. I actually haven't been to bed yet. Busy evening. What was in the glove box?
That would explain. She sort of gives you a once-over with her eyes. That would explain.
Whatever. Yeah, the bags.
It seems our neighbors are making moves. A few acquisitions were made after the close of business yesterday. It's rare that they make a move that I haven't seen coming.
You mean the Von Sweetens?
She nods.
What kinds of acquisitions?
A supplier who's crucial to one of my suiting lines, one of the more profitable ones. If I am to buy silk from Italy, I must now buy it from our neighbors.
Oh, well, you wouldn't be in a mood to cause him any sort of inconvenience, would you?
She puts down her knife and fork and turns to fully face you. What did you have in mind?
Yes. Well, obviously, we were way out of our depth at his party, and we're still feeling the aftershock of all of that. If I could time out, is this supposed to be kept secret that you're meeting? He didn't say anything about that, and it was a pretty big invitation.
He said if he heard a siren, then Van dies. But as long as I never said it had to be secret.
Yeah,
you know.
Okay, let me get back in. Well, this might be a silly question, but obviously these walls are secure, right? He doesn't know. What I learned from that night is that a lot of this goes deeper and more intertwined than I could have imagined. But what I can tell to you now is in confidence, correct?
I would never allow him to gain purchase within my home.
Of course. Right. Just wanted to gulp. Okay. Well, so after the party, my friend Aubrey, you remember my friend Aubrey from school?
Of course, your investigative partner.
Yes. Yeah. She feels a little bit of pride that her mom's, recognizing her work. Anyway, Freddie has one of Aubrey's dear friends held prisoner and is threatening her.
The gardener.
Yes,
I am aware.
Is there anything with the knowledge that you have? Am I out of bounds on this? Is there anything I can do to help her? Because I'm worried that not only will she get hurt, but if I interfere, something worse will happen. But if I don't...
The gardener is on a separate account, if you will. He is not one of mine. Anything you do there, well, it could muddy the waters and indicate that you were taking this Aubrey on as a subordinate in Freddie's eyes, which would bring her into our fold. But as of now, if Aubrey has some points of contention with the Van Sweetens, it's no business of mine. And if there are ways that I can help subtly, she sort of shrugs as if to say, it wouldn't be overly vexatious to her to help out a little bit. if she can do it without being detected, to
Yes.
sort of stab her neighbor in the back.
Yeah. Well,
She does a lot with a shrug.
Yeah, she does. She rocks, and she's so scary. Okay, every time it's giving a new bit. Well, what would you suggest? I was thinking they're planning on meeting at the bridge at noon, and I thought if I had a vantage point underwater that I might be able to leap up, but I don't know what I could even do to interfere in the moment. Would it be better to do something beforehand?
It's always better to do something beforehand.
Right.
To allow an enemy to walk into a trap is one of life's great pleasures.
Yes, it is.
You can see that she seems sort of dubious about you believing that,
Yeah.
but she
yeah.
appreciates the effort.
What sort of trap would you suggest? I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you have a busy schedule.
Gottfried is a man of towering ego. His belief in himself may well be his greatest flaw. I hate to admit that he is proving to be a more canny businessman, a more canny chess player than I anticipated. If you can find some way for him to cause his own downfall, using a man's strength against himself is always the best way. Make them dash their ships onto the rocks. And that way you don't have to go out and chase them.
Okay. Wondering if that's probably as good as she's gonna get in terms of a hint, right? Yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't have any hints for you.
Yeah.
I only give you problems. I never think of
right.
solutions to stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is good. Energy vampire. I also don't want to monopolize time. Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to sort of
Yes.
let that scene fade.
Yeah. Thank you, Mother. I really appreciate it. And Mara's gonna actually mean that with a sincerity that neither of them have shared in a bit. And hopefully that comes across that she genuinely is thankful.
Of course, dearest. You're keeping your appointment with the mayor's aide tomorrow, I hope?
Yes. Yes, I'll be there. Actually, I was planning to show Trisha a new coffee place that I've found. I think she would like it.
Fantastic.
She'll walk on out.
And you see one of the staff sort of coming in with a breakfast plate for you and seeing that you're walking out, just backs out silently.
No, I'm gonna say, no, I'm just gonna grab it and take for me and Aubrey to have. I'm just gonna take it, and then they will maybe try to stop me from taking it out of the house. Nope, it's good. Let it happen. I'm taking the scones.
I have some quick out of character question just to make sure I'm remembering correctly. Mm-hmm. With what we know of what his relationship was to the people who we took the files from, and all this sort of verdant stuff.
Yeah.
Did he sell the files to the Fae and then we stole the files from the Fae? Or was he just having a conversation with the lady in the brown dress? I want to remember just what his business dealings are right now.
Yeah, so the lady with the brown dress and Sam, the tall guy who Greystone had some history with, they were sort of bidding on a job. Right. At some point, it became whoever catches the stoat gets the job, but the job clearly involved the file about Train 19.
Did the fact that we stole the files from the Fae lady imply that she's the one that won the contract, or just that she had done her research going into this meeting?
I believe the woman that you stole the contract from was not a Fae lady.
Okay. I thought she had been. She was a representative, or she was hanging around them? No?
Let me pull up my notes.
Okay, let me make sure. Yeah. Just, I want to be able to flex on him by knowing about his business dealings if I need to.
Yeah.
I figure I'm just going to learn some stuff and be suitably scared and then leave, because he did promise me safety, and I think he just wants to flex.
We can back off if you want.
I think it probably, unless I'm walking into a trap, I don't think it'll go south, but we'll see.
Yeah.
See, my guess is that he's going to demand some unsavory task of me that I'm going to feel like I need to say yes to in the short term, and then we'll figure out the next bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Hear a siren.
We'll see. He's going to be so rude.
It's a voice.
Yeah. Because he keeps being like, you stole from me. You entered my house uninvited. I'm like, I don't know. You hired me for a job, dude.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So there were three parties.
Yeah.
At the three parties involved in bidding for the job. Sam seemed to be his own party. There was a woman in a simple dress that was more complicated the closer you looked at it. That was the sort of Fae person.
Okay.
The woman in the Wuthering Heights music video dress who ended up with the file appeared to be an older human woman.
Okay, and
who
she's the one we saw in the university.
She's the one that you saw in the university.
Okay. So does the woman from the university having the file imply that she got the contract, or does it just imply that she did her research?
Yes, it implies that she got the contract.
Great. That's what I wanted to know.
And it implies that you probably goofed that up for her by taking the file.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I wonder. I have some guesses for what might happen, and a lot of them revolve around that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm going to take a short nap, and I'm going to wash off some of the chaos magic symbols from the night before, and I'm going to draw on some new ones. I'm going to do sort of winding out from my tattoo sleeves down my arms to the backs of my hands, and symmetrically going from my feet up and onto my kneecaps, stems that resolve in garlic flowers, the sort of bulbs of like purple,
Like the purple,
round
like,
flowers. They have a
Susical
name,
spheres.
yeah.
Allium?
The allium flowers, they're like scapes, those ones,
Oh, yeah.
which are a symbol of prosperity and successful business ventures, and maybe also warding off vampires. So he can choose to interpret that however he wants. Maybe I'm playing both.
Before we go to that meeting, is there anything that Tavo wants to do other than take a nap in the morning hours?
I think that's mainly what he has to do. He's going to write down some of his notes from the island to try to remember everything that happened so he can write it up later, record some of the readings that he took and all that kind of stuff. But I think other than that, that's it. Yeah, he wants to take a nap and be ready for when that meeting happens.
All right, so we're sort of fast forwarding to 11 a.m.-ish.
Yeah, and are we doing this plan or maybe not? What do you think? Should we still do because I don't want to jeopardize what Camilla has in mind for this moment.
I mean, Tavo's only goal was just to make sure that if she is in danger in that, we know about it and can maybe intervene.
Yeah.
But if she's not in danger, then as far as Tavo is concerned, there's no reason to interfere.
Yeah. Well, we could always do that. And then if I'm looking at the lake, I could always be at that far end of it by Greencliff.
Sure.
And then go from there. That was it.
Yeah, I'm just going to remind you, it's almost a mile to the middle. So being underwater, like if you want to be close, that's probably your best bet.
Is to be underwater.
And Tavo wants to be far enough away that he doesn't appear to be with Aubrey, but he is really interested in seeing a vampire with his eyes. Just saying.
And Freddie doesn't know that there's a connection there, so you would be okay.
Well, they did drop off the ransom letter at our office while he was here.
Oh, that's true.
Sorry, teacher, do we have homework?
No. You need to be that about this. But if I'm already there, it's 11 a.m. now. If I speed over in the Poirsche, dive on in, make myself comfortable.
I feel like, owing to the circumstances of the letter I've received, I have to discourage you from following me. I'm going to leave the room now.
Yeah.
Out of character, either choice is fine. Aubrey just can't know about it.
That's true. True. Okay.
She's just refusing to.
Yep.
All I did was hand her a coin. That's all she knows.
Yeah. I mean, if there is something that you want to do to sort of like lay some groundwork for a trap, you're welcome to.
I don't know what that would be.
I'm not sure what it would be either.
I have no idea. And I don't think that's smart either. I think this is that first thing. And to be there if anything starts going awry and you suddenly...
Is there anything that it would be useful for you to know about him that I could try to get from this meeting?
Oh.
Think of it that way.
Well, what I wrote down was that Freddie's seemingly coming for the Verteres. He's taking clients. He's making their work harder. Not that my mother seemed threatened by that. And also this whole Train 19, that's connected to Fee. Obviously, he's just doing whatever he needs to do, and the Fae are more concerned with the person that disappeared in the Verdant Cycle, so it might not be a direct attack. I don't know. My brain is kind of empty. I don't know where. Okay. I mean, yeah.
Is Mara going to hang out in the water?
Yeah. Why not? We promised this, so we might as well do it.
If the pencil starts glowing, then it's because something bad is happening to Aubrey. That's the only reason I will break it.
Yeah, okay. Then I will leave now in the Porsche, park it far away, walk up to the lake, dive in, maybe in a bathing suit so it doesn't look super weird, and then just go underwater where nobody's looking and just sit under the bridge. And it's 11:15.
An icon.
And it is early spring.
It's early
the water
spring.
is
It's so cold.
It doesn't bother Mara.
No, she's fine. But yeah.
But people would think that was a little weird.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm like one of those gals that swims laps.
Yeah, for sure.
If I had to ask them all to look away beforehand, maybe I could.
You're fine. It's literally just like, you know,
that's weird.
People jogging and like dads pushing their kids in strollers.
Cute.
And yeah.
Good for dads. Okay.
Good for dads.
Shut up now.
Congratulations to every dad.
What is Tavo doing to sort of get set up?
I think if he is within eyeshot of the vampires he would like to be, he probably will be putting the whole operation in danger. And also, what was the point of the coin? So I think he needs to be somewhere that he can't even see the bridge, unfortunately.
Is there like a coffee shop or a diner that Tavo frequents?
He might be like at a coffee shop on campus or like near his office or something. Maybe he took his notes in.
Sure.
Yeah. So he's close enough that maybe he could get to the bridge in a reasonable amount of time, but mainly he's just there to like monitor the coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Just a reminder, you can spend story points on like flashbacks. So like having things that are super convenient.
Okay.
Spend story points on that. That's
Great.
That's totally fair game.
As I approach, I'm going to just give myself a little pep talk. Okay. Remember Aubrey? He used to be a political leader.
Yeah. Remember Aubrey.
Remember Aubrey.
Used to have to do this. Kind of. I don't really know sports, but it's maybe like being in an inning that's a high number. Maybe the 8th.
Foul ball!
I don't really know, but it's maybe like being a queen and there's a fae that's making it rain. Ice. Hail. I don't really know business. There's something here. There's something that I really need.
Buy low, sell high.
And I don't know a lot of things. I know it's time to do the deed. 1 foot front of the other, across the bridge. 1 foot front of the other, towards the unknown. 1 foot front of the other, across the bridge. And then 1 foot in front of the other, going home. 'Cause you'll be coming home. You'll be coming home.
And so Aubrey marches onto the bridge to face her foe Freddy. Will she agree to some devious deal, trading her own freedom for her mentor's? Find out next time on RPG Major.
Tavo is special guest Drew Simchik, who improvises regularly at CSZ Seattle. Find him on Instagram at xana.drew. That's xana.dru, or at astrodna.bandcamp.com. Mara Vertere is Lauren Drake, who performs in scripted and improvised musicals around Seattle. Find her on socials at La Drake. Aubrey Stump is Camilla Franklin, who also creates the art for our show. Find her on Instagram at Camillastrator. All of the accompaniment for this arc was improvised live in the room by our incredible guitarist, Noah Samuels. Find him on Instagram at Samuels_Noah. And I'm Helix. Connect with me and the rest of the cast on our Discord or on Instagram at RPG Major. All right, we'll see you next time. We have 2 partner songs. One is for a show called Ladies of Lore. A, like, let's teach you about lore. I've done a bunch of research and I'm going to tell you about female characters from lore.
Oh, cool.
It's really cool. It's really well done.
Yeah.
And the gal, India, who makes it, she and I have been talking for a bit back and forth. We may in the future try and do a collab episode with her.
Oh, cool.
where she researches the siren and then like throws songs at us.
Oh, wow.
Cool. India, if you're listening, that sounds fantastic, and I'm looking up your podcast right now. We all have lots of ladies in our lives, but we may not know the secrets that they hide. Oh, mother dear, you're just like me, ladies of lore. And
If you want to know more, sit around the campfire with the ladies of lore. If you want to know more, sit around the campfire with the ladies of lore.
I'm following it. I'm in the back doing this. Growing fast. It just went into my
Oh
nose.
my gosh, you hexed Mara.
Whoa.
She's coughing now because you drew a circle around a coin.
Sorry, I swear it's not connected.
Everything's
I'm
connected.
just really scared for Aubrey. I'm just the stress of talking to my mother. Anyway, continue.